Hello people, welcome to the video on the channel. You may be thinking, why am I wearing a tie with a t-shirt? The answer to that question is, I have absolutely no idea. But it's a transfer video, I thought I would dress for the occasion. So I whacked a tie on. Don't ask. Right, hello people, welcome to another video on the channel. Today is my first of the transfer roundup. I'm going to try and do this once a week, but yes, I'm going to go through all the potential outgoings, potential incomings, obviously the confirmed deals when some happen. There hasn't been anything major yet, but obviously I am by far the most trustworthy news outlet there is out there. That's a joke. But yeah, I'm going to waste no more time waffling and get straight into it. So, in terms of potential outgoings, we're going to start with the big one, Brennan Johnson. He's obviously been linked to Brentford. The fee has been reported £30 million. It was, I believe it was swiftly rejected by Forest and quote unquote it was an insulting bid, which is the right thing. Now I whacked out on Twitter, I put, if we get anything less than 70 million for Brennan Johnson, it's poor business. Now, I got a little bit of backlash, as you would expect, you know. Follow my Twitter, link in the description. We can't be accepting anything lower than 50. 50's got to be the bare minimum. Really, I think I would value him between 60 and 70. Now, obviously, there's always the case of fans overvaluing a player. Everyone does it. I've seen championship fan bases valuing their players at like the best part of 50 million quid. Okay, so let's look at it like this. He smashed it in League One, got Lincoln City, a stereotypically League One mid-table side. He got them to the playoff final. Okay, I'm pretty sure he was their top scorer or one of their top scorers. Don't quote me on that, but he smashed it in League One. First year in the Championship, came in, and without him, we would not have got anywhere near the playoffs. Came in, smashed it, especially in the second half of the season. Premier League came in, had a little bit of a tough start, but came in, got 8 goals, crucial goals to keep us up. Crucial partnership with Morgan Gibbs-White as well to keep us up. Also scored at the World Cup as well, and that just adds a little bit more to it, a couple of million extra. He's played internationally for Wales. Why can we not value him so high? And he signed a 4-year contract last summer, so he's got 3 years still remaining on his contract. Like, what is there not to value him highly? We live in a world currently where Paulinho of Fulham is worth 90 million, Declan Rice is worth 100 million, Jack Grealish is worth 100 million, Calvin Phillips is worth about 65 million. We live in a world with that, so we have every right to demand 60 to 70 million for Brennan Johnson. That's all I'm going to say. I've said quite a bit on it now, but yeah, I think right now, in terms of what he's worth to us, he's worth the best part of really 100 million. Anything above 50 is the best part of 100 million. Therefore, that's why I think we should be asking for 60 to 70 million, and anything less than 60 I think is quite poor. I think I saw a report saying we're demanding a bare minimum of 50. I think we should push for more towards 60, but yeah, I think if we get less than 60, I won't be best pleased. And the other two potential outgoings I've seen, but they have died down recently. Emmanuel Dennis, in the last couple of days, that's been reported that he most likely won't be leaving. There was a lot of talk in January that he could be leaving, but it looks like he'll stay. Dennis is one of those players that if he goes, I won't mind. If we get like a few million quid, like 10 odd million, I'll be happy. If he stays, then that's alright, because especially in the second half of the season, he's been useful as an impact sub. So either way, I'm not too fussed. And the third one, I think this was a little bit of paper talk, but apparently there was some interest in Gustav Scarpa. He only just signed in January. I mean, he's had a couple of injuries. He had some like crypto scam or something he had to deal with. So he's not, had a consistent run in the team. But he said in an interview with a Brazilian news outlet, I'm pretty sure, he said that, and I quote, "I'm looking forward to pre-season at Nottingham Forest," which therefore is a clear indicator that he has intentions of staying. And quite frankly, he's shown really good spark, and he looks like a really positive person, which is also useful to have in a dressing room, even if they're not playing consistently. So I don't see a reason why to get rid of him, and if Gibbs-White gets an injury, adequate replacement. In terms of incomings now though, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. I'm going to start with some of the obvious ones. So Dean Henderson, obviously we were going to be linked with him, had a fantastic season for us up until his injury. It's a little bit of a shame because it was only supposed to be about a 4 to 6 week injury. It turned into a 3-month injury. I stand by this. Forest, get a new medical team. Right, in the length of injuries just doubled throughout the season. Omar Richards was only supposed to be like a month's injury, 2 months injury. He was out for the entire season. So yeah, we need to sort this out. But in terms of Dean Henderson, though, it was looking very likely that we were going to sign him, but the one thing that has caused slight concern is David De Gea looks set to be leaving Man United, yeah, and I think Erik ten Hag wanted to use Dean Henderson for us, what I saw, but then apparently they had a meeting, and in the words of the outlet I saw, Dean Henderson, quote, pissed Erik ten Hag off. So I take it he wanted maybe a new lucrative contract or something, but based on that interview he did last year, I don't really think he wants to go back to United and play. He wants to come to us, just get the deal done. He's going to cost about 20 million quid, which I think is a fair valuation for Dean Henderson. So yeah, that's all really. Just need to get it done and sealed soon. I think United are also interested in David Raya. If they get David Raya over the line, then I think we'll get Dean Henderson. Also, the other loanee that we are interested in is obviously Renan Lodi. Now, I've seen all sorts of reports. I've seen a couple saying that he wants to go back to Brazil. According to Fabrizio Romano, that's off the cards now. We are considerably interested. I mean, Atletico Madrid are charging quite a significant amount less than what I expect. I was expecting them to charge within the region of 30 million because, especially in the second half of the season, has been really, really good. But no, the reported fee that we would probably have to pay is 17 million euros, which is about 16 million pounds. So that's almost half the amount that I thought we were going to have to pay for him. He's definitely warranted. First half of the season, he did start a little bit rocky. I highlighted it in one of my videos as well. That defensively, I thought it was very average, especially in that Fulham game, where like he just leaves Harrison Reed, he just sprints over and leaves him unmarked. But the second half of the season, pretty much since he scored against Spurs, so maybe not even the second half, just since he scored against Spurs, his form has just boom, he's just gone up. And I have no reason, especially if we get 17 million, I don't see a reason why we should not do it. So those are the two main players you obviously expected to be highlighted in this video. The next one's an interesting one, Tyler Adams. So Forest most likely going to want to look to strengthen the midfield because it's the most uncertain position on the pitch. There's three, I would say, midfielders that have been at a good standard all season. That's Danilo, Yates and Mangala. All three of those have been very consistent throughout the season. Danilo's been fantastic. So those three, they've been consistent starters. Sometimes we play with a midfield three, so you're going to need a backup or two. Freuler, he had good patches, but he's not great with a team like us that don't play with much possession. He would do great at like an Arsenal or a City, where he played with lots of the ball. But when he just goes missing when he's not comfortable in possession. So obviously, and Shelby's going to be going. Just the less said about Jonjo Shelby, the better. Just ship him off to wherever he is. He was, I'm pretty sure he was a Newcastle lad, so maybe that was more of a reason why he did so well at Newcastle, because he did all right at Newcastle. But for Forest, he has been stinky. And I don't want a stinky player that has a foul attitude at the club, quite frankly. Freuler, I wouldn't be against keeping him as maybe backup if we can't sell him, but realistically, I think the Italian league is perfect for him right now. But in terms of the player we're linked with, you would have seen now, Tyler Adams. Now, I've not seen anything major for 2 or 3 days now, but I mean, the report is that Leeds want 30 to 40 million, which is fair. Like I said with Johnson, you know, a player's value and what the club values them are two very different things. You know, in the grand scheme of things, Johnson's probably worth about 30 to 40 million, but to Forest he's worth 60, 70 million. So you've got to bear that in mind. I mean, Brighton are also interested, and I saw in the article that they're about to submit a bid within the 25 million region. So I can see why Forest would lose interest with that being 25 million, because he's just been relegated in a poor Leeds side. Granted, he was, you know, a bright spark, but I'm sure we can get cheaper alternatives that are just as good out there. In terms of possession, though, he is very, very good, and I don't really think we have a really, really good passer of the ball, if that makes any sense. Like, he's got a really composed on the ball, averages 57 passes per game, and an 83% pass conversion rate. It is impressive. So if we want someone in terms of, if we want to play with more possession next year, then probably you want to keep Freuler, and also Adams in there, good possession player. So there's no doubt he'll be a good signing. However, for that price tag, I think we'll probably lose interest. I do think he would do bits at Brighton though if he did go to Brighton. And if you look at Brighton and Forest, Brighton is obviously going to be the more lucrative place to go because they've got Europa League. So I'm not going to hold anyone to anything if we don't get Adams, because that is an extortionate amount of money for a player that's just been relegated. The next player, I've not seen any major articles. I saw the one article that did its rounds on Twitter, but I've not seen anything for the best part of a week now. But I thought I'd include this because it caused a lot of debate. Alfredo Morales. Now, he has a reputation of getting a yellow card or a red card quite frequently. However, when you look at his time under Steven Gerrard, a manager he's a good sort of coach, puts your arm around the player, similar to Steve Cooper. And when Gerrard did that, he was a lot better, and that was when his best seasons were under Gerrard. And he was really, really good. He's available on a free. Now, as a backup to a Awoniyi, I don't see a reason, because there's been so often this season where we've lacked some bark and we've lacked some bite. And Morales would bring that. If we need that last 10, 15, 20 minutes of the game, just bring him on. Now, I wouldn't be opposed to bringing another striker in, because it does unfortunately look like we are going to be selling Surridge or making him available to sell, which is a bit of a shame, because I think he just deserves so many more opportunities than what he's got. But Morales, I think, would be an adequate replacement. I think he's built for the division, and overall, for a free transfer, I don't think he would be too bad. That's why I think Morales will be an overall good addition and a good backup for us. Now, these two, they've not been hardcore reports, but they've done the rounds on Forest Twitter over the last week or two. First one's Kian Davis. Now, there's a report saying that Aston Villa have put Davis up for sale for about £5 million. Now, it was doing the rounds saying that would still be interested, and I think as a backup option, yeah, I don't see why. I think at times with Tyler we do miss Davis's ability to get the ball and just drive it forwards and out muscle players, which as much as Tyler's a strong lad, he uses it in a different way, if that makes sense. He uses it to turn his man and drive through, whereas Davis just batters through them, battering ram. As a backup he would be good, although if we do sign him, I'd still think we would need another striker, because his injury record is, it speaks for itself. I think he got 2 injuries in 6 months for us. So, his calf, his hamstring are the 2 main sticking points. So I think we would need another striker, or keep Surridge around. I wouldn't have an issue with that. Get Morales or just keep Surridge, one of those two, just because of his injury. And then finally, Jed Spence. Now, this was this was all because of a comment Ryan Yates put on Jed Spence's post, and they did the rounds on Forest Twitter from there. The only issue I've got is we've got Aurier, who's just signed a new deal. Nico Williams, who really came into his own towards the end of the season. So, do we need him? I think if we don't get him, it's not catastrophic because of the players we've got to fill in. But he's a quality player. We probably wouldn't be in the Premier League without him. He was fantastic for us. He wouldn't cost too much, probably around £10 million. So, again, not too bad. Then again, he's one of those players that is not catastrophic if we don't sign him. But yeah, thank you all for watching this video. I'm going to try and do these weekly. I'll see how much you all enjoy them. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and turn on the notification bell if you never want to miss a video. If you want more stuff from me, Twitter, Instagram and TikTok are all linked in the description. But yeah, I've got some exciting stuff soon, so yeah, stay tuned, stay safe, and up the Reds.